a violin virtuoso. There's not an awful lot of footage of Bacewicz playing because of the era this was from. There is, however, a really lovely film of her playing for the television with her brother on the piano. She's playing one of her encore pieces called Oberek, if you remember, folk dance. And this is from 1952. There will be a link in the description below. I don't believe I'm allowed to, on copyright grounds, put it up here. So if we look at this video, we can see absolute technical mastery. If you listen to it by itself, there is nothing you can criticise about her sound, the playing, or the execution of the work. However, she doesn't really look very comfortable. Considering she plays so much, she doesn't look free, natural, she's not playing, she looks very kind of, oh dear. It is to be noted that her dress has shoulder pads in it. This was just kind of the fashion of the day, so she looks a bit more than she would do if her dress was not like that. However, you could argue that she only really looked uncomfortable, as this is clearly a very fabricated thing for the television. If we listen to any of Bacewicz's recordings of her own works, we can analyse how she plays at different points in her life. The only clip of her playing any concerto of hers online are some short snippets on a website that I will link below. I will tell you which one it is in the description because the website is in Polish. Here we can hear that she sounds confident, she's got a big sound, she's really playing with the orchestra. She is the star of the show. And you don't need to have this big grand persona with a piano, at least not to the same level that you need with an orchestra. However, we can say that she certainly does sound comfortable, not like in the video where she sounded comfortable but she looked not great. A piece, however, that stands out like a sore thumb is her second sonata for solo violin. This is incredibly virtuosic. The first movement is fairly normal for her. It kind of has this graceful melody, but it's kind of chopping and changing in character. There are folk influences. The second movement, however, balmy. Absolutely bonkers. She plays glissandi spiccato for the entire movement at presto. Pages and pages long. There's an incredible recording of her playing this herself. Link in the description below. It's mad. She had just adjudicated 2 really big violin competitions at the time. First one was the Wieniawski competition. She actually won an honourable mention in this competition the very first time it was run. To put it into perspective, she got the honourable mention, David Oistrakh was second. She also adjudicated the Tchaikovsky competition alongside Oistrakh and Menuhin, along with other influences of the violin during this period. Both of the competitions were very different. Whilst the Wieniawski competition was won in the end by a woman, it was relatively fair throughout the final. A third of the finalists were women, and all from different countries in Europe. However, the Tchaikovsky competition, all 3 first, second and third places were men. It was completely male dominated. So, looking at this from a musicological point of view, this sonata was clearly written because she was inspired by these competitions that she'd just adjudicated, thinking, oh, so much solo violin work, I know what I'll write. Bearing in mind a lot of her pieces were the pieces that the competitors had to learn in the competition anyway. Was she A, inspired by the amount of women in the Wieniawski competition? Was this like, yes, kind of girl power moment, writing something for herself? Or on the other side, was this a, there aren't any women in the Tchaikovsky competition, that's not cool, I'm feeling kind of angry, I'm going to write something very virtuosic in order to show and prove to people that women have power? Difficult to say. Is the virtuosic element, the excess, the kind of personality of Is she trying to prove to her colleagues and the workplace that she deserves to be there? It wasn't so much that she didn't deserve to be there, she'd kind of earned her place, but she was getting older at this point and wanted to still be at the forefront of the composition world, not only the violin world, less as a performer now, but more as an adjudicator for the big competitions. All interesting questions to ask. So, to conclude, Bacewicz never stopped fighting against the male bias that was coming upon her work throughout her entire life. She dedicated so much of her life to writing chamber music, concert music, string repertoire in particular, and is a giant and a name to be known by any violinist. Is it really fair to say if Bacewicz only wrote her chamber music, would she have still been famous? Her string quartets, as I said, won several awards. She would have been known without the violin concertos, without the concert music. However, the concert music probably gave her more publicity in order to get more famous in the first place. At the end of the day, is it really about the genre of the work with regards to the fact that she is a woman, or is it about the fact that her works are so good in the first place? Because of this, we shouldn't really be ignoring women for only writing salon repertoire. Fanny Mendelssohn is a very famous example of this. She only wrote salon music because she was not allowed to write anything else, but because she only wrote this music does not mean to say that she should be ignored, and Bacewicz proves that you can write anything you want, and as long as you are a good composer, regardless of whether you are a woman or a man, you deserve to be known. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That was really tiring and surprisingly nerve-wracking. I think I'm going to have to, dunno. I'm going to put some questions at the end of the video for you to have a look at. Do them if you like, don't do them if you like. Depends how much time have you got. Are you bored? Are your parents forcing you to do loads of work? Are you doing no work? Are you sat inside? Do what works for you. Do what is going to help you best. I don't have your faces in front of me. I don't know how you feel about this. This was a bit of a one-off. If this was too music history heavy, then say, please feel free to email Kirsten, she'll forward anything on to me. Do we like this? Do we not like this? Do we want more kind of theory? This was not really a theory, this was kind of a women's one-off kind of lesson. But tell me what you want, tell me what you think, and that sounded very musical. Tell me what you want, tell me what you think, and I will do my best in order to accommodate what we want from our lessons. Thank you all for tuning in. Any questions?
We're out of toilet paper.